Hello, I'm gonna read from Native Americans, Myth and Legends. I'm Fox Westbrook. I go by Brooke. I actually identify as Two Spirit. I'm a Native American air woman, air generation. Genesis, Blackfoot. All animals of the plains at one time heard and knew him, and all birds of the air heard and knew him. All things that he had made understood him, and when he spoke to them, the birds, the animals, and the people. The old man was traveling about south of here, making the people. He came from the south, traveling north, making animals and birds as he passed along. He made the mountains, prairies, timber, and brush first. So he went along, traveling northward, making things as he went, putting rivers here and there, and falls on them, painting red here and there in the ground, fixing up the world as we see it today. He made the Milk River, the Teton, and crossed it, and being tired, went up on the little hill, and lay down to rest. As he lay on his back, stretched out on the ground, with arms extended, he marked himself out with stones, the shape of his body, head, legs, arms, and everything. There you can see those rocks today. After he had rested, he went on northward, and stumbled over a knoll, and fell down on his knees. Then he said, "You are a bad thing to be stumbling against." So he raised up 2 large butts there, and named them the knees. And they are called so to this day. He went further north, and with some of the rocks he carried with him, he built the Sweet Grass Hills. Old Man covered the plains with grass for the animals to feed on. He marked off a piece of ground, and in it he made to grow all kinds of roots and berries, wild carrots, wild turnips, sweet root, bitter root, sarvice berries, bullberries, cherries, plums, and rosebuds. He put trees in the ground. He put all kinds of animals on the ground. When he made the big horn with its big head and horns, he made it out on the prairie. It did not seem to travel easily on the prairie. It was awkward and could not go fast. So he took it by one of its horns and led it up into the mountains and turned it loose, and it skipped about among the rocks and went up fearful places with ease. So he said, "This is the place that suits you. This is what you are fitted for, the rocks and the mountains." While he was in the mountains, he made the antelope out of dirt and turned it loose to see how it would go. It ran so fast that it fell over some rocks and hurt itself. He saw that this would not do, and took the antelope down by the prairie and turned it loose, and it ran away fast and gracefully. And he said, "This is what you are suited to do." One day, Old Man determined that he would make a woman and a child. So he formed them both, the woman and the child, her son of clay. After he had molded the clay in human shape, he said to the clay, "You must be people." He then covered it up and left it, and went away. The next morning he went to the place and took the covering off, and saw that the clay shapes had changed a little. The second morning there was still more change, and the third still more. The fourth morning he went to the place, took the covering off, looked at the images, and told them to rise and walk. And they did so. They walked down to the river with their maker, and he told them that his name was Napi, Old Man. As they were standing by the river, the woman said to him, "How is it? Will we always live? Will there be no end to it?" He said, "I have never thought of that. We will have to decide it. I will take this buffalo chip and throw it in the river if it floats. When people die, in 4 days they will become alive again. They will die for only 4 days, but if it sinks, there will be an end to them." He threw the chip in the river and it floated. The woman turned and picked up the stone and said, "No, I will throw this stone in the river. If it floats, we will always live. If it sinks, people must die, that they may always be sorry for each other." The woman threw the stone into the water and it sank. "There," said Old Man, "you have chosen. There will be an end to them." It was not many nights after that the woman's child died, and she cried a great deal for it. She said to Old Man, "Let us change this. The law that you first made, let that be a law." He said, "Not so. What is made law must be law. We will undo nothing that we have done. The child is dead, but it cannot be changed. People will have to die. And that is how we came to be people. It is He who made us. The first people were poor and naked, and did not know how to get a living. Old Man showed them the roots and berries, and told them that they could eat them, that in a certain month of the year they could peel the bark off some trees and eat it, that it was good. He told the people that the animals should be their food and gave them to people, saying, "These are your herds." He said, "All these little animals that live in the ground, rats, squirrels, skunks, beavers, are good to eat. You need not to fear of their flesh." He made all the birds that fly, and told the people that there was no harm in their flesh, that it could be eaten. The first people that he created, he used to take about through the timber and swamps and prairies and over the prairies and show them the different plants. Of a certain plant he would say, "This root of this plant, if gathered in a certain month of the year, is good for a certain sickness." So they learned the power of all herbs. In those days there were buffalo. Now the people had no arms, but those black animals with long beards were armed. And once, as the people were moving about, the buffalo saw them and ran after them and hooked them and killed and ate them. One day, as the maker of the people was traveling over the country, he saw some of his children that he had made lying dead, torn to pieces and partly eaten by the buffalo. When he saw this, he was very sad. He said, "This will not do. I will change this. The people shall eat the buffalo." He went to some of the people who were left and said to them, "How is it that you people do nothing to these animals that are killing you?" The people said, "What can we do? We have no way to kill these animals, while they are armed and can kill us." Then said the maker, "That is not hard. I will make you a weapon that will kill these animals." So he went out and cut some sarvi berry shoots and brought them in and peeled the bark off them. He took a larger piece of wood and flattened it and tied a string to it and made a bow. Now, as he was the master of all birds and could do with them as he wished, he went out and caught one and took feathers from its wing and split them and tied them to the shaft of wood. He tied 4 feathers along the shaft and tried the arrows at a mark and found that it did not fly well. He took these feathers off and put on 3, and when he tried again, he found that it was good. He went out and began to break sharp pieces off the stones. He tried them and found that black flint stones made the best arrow points and some white flints. Then he taught the people how to use these things. Then he said, "The next time you go out, take these things with you and use them as I tell you. And do not run from these animals. When they run at you, as soon as they get pretty close, shoot the arrows at them, as I have taught you, and you will see that they will run from you, or will run in a circle around you." Sorry, one second. I'll have some coffee. Now as people became plenty, one day 3 men went out onto the plains to see the buffalo, but they had no arms. They saw the animals, but when the buffalo saw the men, they ran after them and killed 2 of them. But one got away. Excuse me. One day after this, the people went on a little hill to look about, and the buffalo saw them and said, "Sire, there is some more of our food." And they rushed on them. This time the people did not run. They began to shoot the buffalo with the bows and arrows Napi had given them. And the buffalo began to fall, but in that fight a person was killed. At this time these people had flint knives given them, and they cut up the bodies of the dead buffalo. It is not healthful to eat the meat raw, so Old Man gathered dry, soft, rotten driftwood and made punk of it. Then got a piece of hardwood and drilled a hole in it with an arrow point, and gave them a pointed piece of hardwood and taught them how to make fire with the fire sticks. Excuse me. And to cook the flesh of these animals and eat it. They got a kind of stone that was in the land, and then took another harder stone, and worked one upon the other, and hollowed out the softer one and made a kettle of it. This was the fashion of their dishes. Also, Old Man said to the people, "Now if you are overcome, you may go and sleep and get power. Something will come to you in your dream that will help you." Whatever these animals tell you to do, you must obey them, as they appear to you in your sleep. Be guided by them. If anyone wants help, if you are alone and traveling, and cry aloud for help, your prayer will be answered. It may be by the eagles, perhaps by the buffalo, or by the bears. Whatever animal answers your prayer, you must listen to him. That was how the first people got through the world, by the power of their dreams. After this, Old Man kept on, traveling north. Many of the animals that he had made followed him as he went. The animals understood him when he spoke to them, and he used them as his servants. When he got to the north point of the Porcupine Mountains, there he made some more mud images of people, and blew breath upon them, and they became people. He made men and women. They asked him, "What are we to eat?" He made many of these images of clay in the form of buffalo. Then he blew breath on these, and they stood up. And when he made signs to them, they started to run. Then he said to the people, "Those are your food." They said to him, "Well now, we have those animals. How are we to kill them?" "I will show you," he said. He took them to the cliff and made them build rock piles like this. And he made the people hide behind these piles of rock, and said, "When I lead the buffalo this way, as I bring them opposite to you, rise up." After he had told them how to act, he started on toward a herd of buffalo. He began to call to them. You like my earrings? Umbrella on that side, and then a thundercloud. After he told them how to act, he started on toward a horde of buffalo. He began to call them, and the buffalo started to run toward him, and they had followed him until they were inside the lines. Then he dropped back, and the people rose up. Excuse me. The buffalo ran in a straight line and jumped over the cliff. He told the people to go and take the flesh of those animals. They tried to tear the limbs apart, but they could not. They tried to bite pieces out and could not. So Old Man went to the edge of the cliff and broke some pieces of stone with sharp edges, and told them to cut the flesh with these. When they had taken the skins from these animals, they set up some poles and put the hides on them, and so made a shelter to sleep under. There were some of these buffalo that went over the cliff that were not dead. Their legs were broken, but they were still alive. The people cut strips of green hide and tied stones in the middle, made large mauls, and broke in the skulls of the buffalo and killed them. After he taught these people these things, he started off again, traveling north until he came to where Bow and Elbow rivers meet. There he met some more people and taught them the same things. From here he went again northward. When he had come nearly to the Red Deer's River, he reached the hill where Old Man sleeps. There he lay down and rested himself. The form of his body is to be seen there yet. When he awoke from his sleep, he traveled further northward and came to a fine high hill. He climbed to the top of it, and there sat down to rest. He looked over the country below him, and it pleased him. Before him the hill was steep, and he said to himself, "Well, this is a fine place for sliding. I will have some fun." And he began to slide down the hill. Excuse me. The marks where he slid down are to be seen yet, and the place is known to all people as Old Man's Sliding Ground. This is as far as the Blackfeet followed Old Man. The Crees knew what he did further north. In later times, once Napi said, "Here I will mark you off a piece of ground," and he did so. Then he said, "This is your land, and it is full of all kinds of animals, and many things grow in this land. Let no other people come into it. This is for you 5 tribes, Blackfeet, Bloods, Pagans, Gros Ventres, Sakis. When people come to cross the line, take your bows and arrows, your lances, and your battle axes, and give them battle and keep them out. If they gain a footing, trouble will come to you. Our forefathers gave battle to all people who came across these lines to keep them out. Of late years we have let our friends, the white people, come in, and you know the result. We, his children, have failed to obey his laws."